for Straight on the Point with your host from some undisclosed location. Here's Jesse T.
Hey, it's good to be back with you here on the Jesse T Show. Hey, good to have you here with us at www.thepowervoices.com. Also, AVTV Live and the Digital Broadcasting TV Network located on 21 social network sites. And, of course, blasting out at www.thepowervoices.com on our radio feed. So we enjoy you taking that and listening to that every day here, Monday through Friday. Yesterday, we were out at 6356 Hollywood Boulevard and the Beetle House for the terrific premiere and a red carpet debut of a new movie called Stasis, which is opening up nationwide now, and it had already opened up in Europe with raving accolades, as well as making some money too. So this movie was terrific. We got a chance to see it for the first time, and we broadcasted live there from the Beetle House. We had some technical difficulties, but we got through the night, and I posted up all that stuff at facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, which you can check out right now if you're already watching it. If you're not, you can go there and see the show live and also the archive post-ups, as well as the Power of Voices on Facebook. And also, don't forget us on YouTube, YouTube Live, The Power of Voices, and yours truly, YouTube Live, Jesse Torrero. Instagram guys are already checking in. Darcy Donovan's already with us. Hey, Darcy, how you doing? She's going out to the Martin Gigi production of 9/11 starring Charlie Sheen tonight. She's be headed out there for a private screening with Charlie Sheen and the gang. And Martin Gigi, I talked to Martin. We're going to go out and check out when the premiere happens in a more public forum. I kind of wanted to do it then rather than a kind of a private screening. I like to catch the action and the energy in the public forum. But 9/11, starring Charlie Sheen, Whoopi Goldberg, and some other great stars that you'll see. It's a story of 5 people, I believe, stuck in the elevator of one of the towers that came down in 9/11. So, hey, it's apropos and appropriate with September 1st coming up here, not too far away. So that Darcy's going out there. Thanks a lot, Darcy, for checking in with us. You can check her out on her website, and she's got a fine show here online. Hey, this is the Jesse T Show, and I am back with you on the air and everywhere. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. From the community to the world, we're here for you. So we'd love you to chime in and see who's checking out the show right now. We are broadcasting on our remote location. I'm here at my home office. I've had to catch up on a whole bunch of stuff because I've been away for about 4 days or so since Friday last. Flew out early in the morning, had to go to Denver to cover the Breckenridge Beast and Sparta. Roar! Yeah, man, we were out there covering the Beast race, which is unbelievable. These cats, men and women, are covering 13 miles. It start at 9,000 feet and ascend one of the many Rocky Mountain peaks there in Breckenridge, all the way up to almost 12,000 feet. Unbelievable. And they go through all kinds of obstacles over 6, 7, 8-foot walls, spear throwing, grabbing sandbags and running for a quarter mile, uphill, grabbing buckets full of dirt, 5-gallon buckets full of dirt, running uphill for 5 miles, carrying logs uphill for 5 miles, some water traps, barbed wire, some mud, rope climbing, monkey bars, universal machines, flipping tires, unbelievable stuff, dragging cement, dragging a sled uphill. And we're talking, you know, where the oxygen is thin, where the tree line, it stops growing trees. Mother Nature knows something that us human beings can't figure out. And, you know, we keep pushing it. But these men and women out there, I'll tell you something, the wonderful, beautiful thing about these Spartan races, the mud trucker, mud mucking races, these strong men and women type endurance and obstacle course, OCR races, ninja races, these types of things. It really tests the mettle of the human being. But you know, one of the things that I really enjoy about these. Not only does Jesse Andrew, my son, run in these, he's an elite pro racer. As he is climbing the charts, he covered that Breckenridge beast, 13 miles, and all of those obstacles in 2 hours and 30 minutes. So fast. Wow. I mean, we're talking almost full sprints. The winner of the race, now this is a mind blower, guys. The winner of the race, for all of those of you fitness champions who really think you got it going on, the winner of the race was unbelievable. 1 hour and 48 minutes. Boom. Just unbelievable. Jesse Andrew did 54 out of almost 300 elite racers. And so very, very proud of him, and he did well. But one of the things that I enjoyed so much was covering the obstacles. I had the opportunity to cover 3 or 4 obstacles for a couple of networks. I can't mention them. I have a confidentiality clause and sheet that I had to sign. I can't even use any of the footage until they allow me to release it. But I can say it was for the Sparta organization, and I could do some stuff on the side as long as I don't say the organization it's being used for. I can't promote in that way. But I got to cover some of the obstacles, which is really, really cool. So when I can get that footage out to you, I will. I love how healthy this environment is. Oftentimes I go to a lot of private parties here in Hollywood and Los Angeles, and I cover award shows, and I cover all kinds of sporting events, boxing matches, and things like that. But you know something? These Spartan races, the 8,000 people that show up, both racers and spectators, family members, they're also friggin' healthy. The whole age gamut, from 5-year-olds, they have 5, 6, and 7-year-old races, and then 8, 9, and 10-year-old races. The little kids run a half a mile. And the older kids run a mile. All the obstacles are cut down to their size. To a master's class, which starts at over 40 years old, saw an old timer up there, about 75 years old, covering this race. Most impressive. Most impressive. But everybody's so healthy. There's no beer. There's no weed. There's no stupid, loud, awful, disgusting, racist, prejudicial, angry music. Everybody seems to have a happy face, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves, and everybody's so fit, drinking water and mineral water and energized water and eating the right foods. I mean, they had the hamburgers out there, but not a lot of people were eating those. They were eating more of the foods that are inclined to helping them feed their bodies properly, so they partake in these events. Everybody's trained and working out, and it's such a wonderful environment, courtesy mannered. It sort of reminds me of the America that I grew up in. It's so helpful, and especially in Colorado. We were there in Colorado for about 4 days, up at the lodge, up at the cabin that we have up there, and we were there checking things out at Breckenridge and Dillon and George, the city of George, and a couple other cities up there, all the mine shafts and the rivers, and it's just what an environment. I found some land up there that I'm looking at buying, 35 acres for $99,000. It backs up to Bureau of Land Management, BLM land, so you've got infinite backyard forever and ever and ever, and hunting and fishing and biking and running trails. In fact, I ran a trail up there on Sunday after I was released from my employ. I ran a trail with my son. We both took off, and it was an 8-mile trail up to the waterfall and river that dumps into, if I can recall the name of the river, the Blue River. It dumps into the Blue River down at the end of this kind of cascading waterfall and stream that comes off about 11,000 feet, 10,000 feet and it takes 8 miles. It starts at about 9,200 feet, but it takes like 8 miles, 8 miles, 8 miles to get there. And once again, people love to call me when I'm on the air and everywhere. It never fails on the Jesse T Show. Never, ever fails. Pretty amazing, isn't it? It's like the same things always happen with me, Jesse T. So there we go. And we'll probably get more phone calls. But my son took off up this trail. I made him a gentleman's bet that he couldn't beat me for a mile. Yeah, he said, no, Dad, maybe we should adjust the bet a little bit. Maybe we should say, if you can stay with me for 100 feet, then you win. And I thought about that, and I went, 100 feet, huh? Okay, we're starting at 9,200 feet, and I go 100 feet. It means all I got to go is to 9,300 feet, and if I can stay with him, I'll win the gentleman's bet. Okay, so we got ready. We both started. Now, his mile race was going to be an 8-mile race, 4 miles up and 4 miles back. That's what he was running on this. I mean, this wasn't a well-traveled trail. This was a trail that we found off of a GPS. Yeah, Big Lee, I used GPS in the Rockies of Colorado to find myself a trail because I don't know the trails of the Rockies. I don't. Yeah. Big Lee Michaels has been trying to get me to be a slave to the technology. He wants me to conform. I'm not conforming. That's right. But I had to conform there because, well, I don't know the trails in the Colorado Rockies. I felt like I was like John Denver. In fact, I should be playing some John Denver music. That's what I should be doing, you know. Rocky Mountain High. That'd be cool to be able to play that song. But anyhow, yeah, we use this GPS. But of course, you know, the trail that was picked was this trail that seemed like it hadn't been walked or on horseback for, 20 years. It was just a little cut path. And so I said, okay, well, I had my trusty knife with me, so I felt pretty good about that. So he picks this trail, and so, okay, I figure, all right, he's going to run 4 and back, and that's 8. I'm going to run 2 and back, and that's 4. So that's kind of how I figured it out. And the trail hooks around in a big circle at the top of 4 miles and comes back another 4 miles a different way in kind of a circular pattern, and then comes to this fork about 100 feet up from where we started. Now, that's how he got to kind of pick the 100 feet. I said, okay, yeah, I can beat him. So my trail, where I was going up 2 miles of this one side of the 8-mile trail that we were on, 2 miles of the 4-mile side as you ascend the mountain. I was going to go up 2 miles of it. I kind of figured out the point where I was going to stop. Okay, yeah, how did we figure it out? We had to do the GPS on the satellite map, and we had to go look down at the trees and the rocks so I could get familiar where I was going to stop. Okay, yeah. I had to use a GPS system to figure out where I was going to run to, so I knew where to stop and turn around and come back, okay? I hate to admit it. I am a slave to the technology in a place that I would have much more would have liked to be a mountain man. And so now I'm a city slicker, and I don't use the technology. I do things backwards. That's for sure. But so I said, okay. So we got ready, stretched out and whatnot, and then I let him say go. No, he said, Dad, you say go. I said, oh, well, that makes sense. I even get the chance to say go, so I can like maybe fool him and talk him a little bit in my head, and then I just say go, right? So got him talking about something else. I said, oh, wow, look over there. Look at it. There's a coyote. He turns around. I say go, and I take off, right? And man, I'm feeling good. I'm getting close to this fork where the 100-foot is. I'm like at 10 feet, 20 feet. I felt like Usain Bolt, man, up there, man. I'm running and running. 30 feet. I'm like 35, 40 feet. At 50, 75, 80, 87 feet. I'm almost there, 93 feet. And all of a sudden, he just steps around me, running backwards. Hooks to the trail in front of me, jumps up in front of me, and just takes off like he hit the afterburners of a brand new F-35 fighter jet. I look up, and the last thing I see is his feet kicking up dust. I mean, it really was like the Road Runner. Unbelievable. And he was gone. And I said, I had to jump on him, and then he caught me from behind, like really quick, and was running backwards. He passed me up running backwards. The disgrace that was thrown upon my shoulders at that moment. So anyhow, I posted all that up, and you can check it out on facebook.com/Jesse Torrero. And the actual fun part of the post is when I got up to my 2-mile mark, and I kind of took a breather, and it really, I was sucking wind. I was major oxygen deprivation. I never had run at 9,200 feet. I've never run that before, and so I got up there and I was just gassed out. Head was spinning a little bit, and I'm in pretty good shape. So I'm collecting myself. I was recovering pretty quick, and I saw some critters down below where I was standing as the ridge kind of slopes down about 300 feet. A lot of felled timber. That means timber had been knocked down. And I was up there looking down, and I noticed this black spot down about 350 feet, 300 feet or so. And remember, it's dead quiet up there. It's just myself and Mother Nature. I felt like maybe I should be running, that reality show, Naked Man and Women in the Jungle. I felt like maybe I should take my clothes off and run down the trail. Then I could be like Naked Man running in the Rockies. It makes it good for a good reality show, huh? So, I did post up the new gear I'm going to wear at the Valencia Castaic Sparta race. I did post that up. You can see I was posing and checking out some gear. I'll get your ideas about that at facebook.com/Jesse Torrero. One of our designers who watch our show on a regular basis, the great Sue Man, we had her in. She's traveling around the world, a world-known designer. She makes dresses for women at the Academy Awards and other places. She posted up after I posted the picture. She said, "Jesse, my, we have to make you some new gear. We're gonna outfit you with some good sporting gear." I said, "Oh, that'd be great, but I kind of like what I was wearing, so you can check that out." So anyhow, I'm looking down in this black spot, and I swear to God, as God is my witness, there was movement down in this black spot, this whole black spot. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I'm up here in the Rockies. I'm on a trail that is not really traveled as much as the other trails. I'm up here by myself. I'm gassed out. I'm trying to collect and get a little breather before I turn around and run back to complete my 4-mile run. And freaking Bigfoot or Sasquatch is he's looking at me. That's right. I said the word because I was like freaked out, man. I looked down this friggin' thing. He's looking at me, right? And I'm saying to myself, wait a second. Like Bigfoot, man, he can cover like 6 foot. He's faster than Usain Bolt. He's so huge. That's all I get. That's all I need now is some Sasquatch chasing me down the trail, right? And it would probably be some female Sasquatch or some homosexual Bigfoot. I don't know. I have no idea what they are into. I'm great. It's like prison sex, right? I'm going to get forced into having Bigfoot sex. It's terrible. That's what's going through my head here. So I hunker down. I feel like I'm Gruel, that outside mountain man, Bear Gruel, right? And I hunker down, and I look down in this black little spot that moves again. And now I'm not kidding you guys. I start my camera, man. Yeah, because I got to record this. Well, the sign down at the start of the trail says, "You are now entering United States forestry land. You enter at your own risk. And we suggest that you fill out this little piece of paper and let us know the time that you went in and the time you expect to stay. And understand, we have wild moose, wild bears, wild wolves, coyotes, and mountain lions. In fact, there are so many animals up here, and they all want to kill you and eat you. So you enter this trail at your own risk. We do not accept the liability or responsibility for your actions. You may not come back alive. So please fill out this little registration card, as our rangers will come by on a timely basis and see if you've returned." All right, okay. My 57th birthday present weekend, I'm going to get eaten. I'm going to have Sasquatch sex, or get eaten by some bear, or trampled by some moose who's pissed off at human beings, or never seen one, or some mountain lion that, missed his meal the night before, or some coyote or wolf that's kind of needs to practice his hunting techniques. Oh, not to mention the snakes. They got snakes up there too. Not as many, not like here, but they do have them up there. And the spiders and critters I've never even seen before. I mean, they got ants up there. I saw ants like a quarter-inch big. They were giant ants. I'm thinking, oh, Lord, help me. What did I get myself into? So I hunker down, right? I hunker down. And I'm looking at this black spot over there moves again. Now my heart's going to go, right? And I'm thinking, well, I'm fully recovered, but my heart is still pumping like 190 beats a minute. What's going on here? Eyes are dilating. So I thought, oh gosh, I'm gonna get trampled by a moose, or it's gonna be a bear or something, right? So I sit there, hunker down, whip my trusty knife out, and I look at my knife. It's a little knife. It's only like, it's not like a Jim Bowie knife, right? It's like I'm going, what am I going to do with this knife? Throw it at him? So I said, well, it's all my backwoods preparation starts kicking in on me, right? On how to deal with these situations. So if it was a grizzly bear, well, they don't have many grizzlies down that far south in the Rockies. They're more north in the Rockies. So it's probably not a grizzly. If it's a grizzly, you just play dead. You can't outrun a grizzly. They run 40, 50 miles an hour, and they weigh what, like, 1,700 pounds or 2,000 pounds or something. You can't outrun a grizzly. So you just kind of play dead. And hopefully he thinks you're dead. You bow down to the grizzly bear. If it's a brown bear, you can kind of get really big and make a lot of noise, and the brown bears will scare you and run away. But they don't have a lot of brown bears up there, so that's black bear territory. So black bears are like psycho bears from hell. You don't quite know what they want to do. Sometimes they'll run, sometimes they won't, sometimes they're a little aggravated. I mean, if the black bear got pissed off at Mrs. Black Bear, then he's pretty pissed. If Mrs. Black Bear got pissed off at Mr. Black Bear because he didn't come home with some bacon, she's pretty pissed, right? And if you're too close to black bear cubs, well, you better do something. And black bears can climb trees real fast, and they run real fast, very aggressive. And a big black bear is like 1,000 pounds. A big giant black bear, like 800 pounds or something. So when you face a black bear, you have to make a choice and hope that the choice is that he didn't see you. They're the wild ones. Okay, so. Or you need to back off where they're at and get the heck out of there. Exit stage right, like Snagglepuss. So I'm up there, and I figured, okay, it's not a moose, because they're like 9 feet tall when they're standing up. So I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, it's a black bear situation. It can't be Bigfoot, because Bigfoot smells. At least that's what all the Bigfoot hunters say, the Sasquatch hunters, they say that Bigfoot and Sasquatch has this terrible smell to it. You can smell it. All right, so I'm thinking, okay. All right. Well, you would smell if you had a lot of fur, didn't have any deodorant either. I mean, come on. They should have like a Bigfoot Circle K market where they have Bigfoot deodorant for Bigfoot, and Bigfoot wouldn't smell so bad. But so now look at it. So I kind of go, okay, it's a black bear. And then I see these two little cubs off in the distance. So I raise my camera, and I got my camera sneaking down like this. For those of you who can see on AVTV Live and the digital TV broadcasting network, I'm bending over. I feel like Bear Grylls. That's the guy. Yeah, and I got my camera up. Well, my camera couldn't zoom, and I tried to make it zoom, and I'm fidgeting around with my camera, and I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm making a lot of noise here. So I just kind of laid the camera up there like that, right? Just like that. For those guys on Instagram, just like that, right? And I'm just letting the video go. And I thought, well, you know, this isn't working. And then the black spot kind of moves again. That's it, man. I'm exiting stage right. So I back down, turn around, whip my knife out, and I run down the trail with my knife out the side. If you ever have to run with a knife, you got to run with it down and out. Okay? So I'm running, and I'm running with it out in case I get stuck by any black bears pulling my flank. Now, I don't know, man. Maybe these black bears have, you know, combat soldiers. I mean, I went and saw Planet of the Apes, and according to Planet of the Apes, man, these guys can communicate, these animals. So I thought, well, maybe it's Planet of the Black Bears. So I'm running down the trail, man. I am booking it. And so I caught all this on video. You got to watch it. It's funny. It's hilarious. And so I get it all the way back down to the fork that I started at, and my my son, he's already there waiting for me. He goes, what took you so long? And I go, you won't believe it. And I knew you were going around the other way. You were going to go around the bend and come out that way because that's what we planned on doing. So I wasn't concerned about you and the bears. But I think I had an encounter with a bear. I swear to God, or Sasquatch or something. And he goes, that's wild. Because when I was up at about 4.5 miles, I heard this big kind of roar. Rah! And I said, wow. He goes, yeah, I heard it. He said he heard it. So there was something down there. So he made it around the other back of the trail where I knew nothing was. And he's sitting there waiting for me. So I posted all that up there on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero for your amusement. But today I wanted to talk about a couple things. That was my weekend, and today is a new day. We came in on Monday, and it is a new day in paradise, that's for sure. Tuesday here in Southern California. I got to say some things about the Hurricane Harvey, tropical storm, massive Hurricane Harvey. I really got lost in what I was doing up there. I kind of lost track of what the world was going through. So today was the first day that I had the opportunity, because when we came back, last night I was at broadcasting live from the Beetle House for the Star Stasis movie premiere that I talked about. So I really didn't get a chance. I didn't get home until about 4:30 in the morning. So I really didn't get a chance to really kind of see what's happening with Harvey. So I spent couple hours today kind of watching the Harvey news, you know. Man, I am blown away by this disaster. President Trump was down there. It looks like the government is really kicking. It looks like the government learned to do the right thing for all the wrong things they did with Katrina, because everything seems to be going really smooth with the National Guard, the military, and local police, and EMT, and governors and the mayors and the senators and the congressmen and the presidents. The politicians look like they have it right on the button. They look like they're doing a great job down there with helping these people. But I'm thinking to myself, all that water, thinking to myself, Lee was telling me yesterday, over 600 square miles is Houston, the fourth largest city in America. They were talking 5 to 8 million people are going to be affected by this, or already are. And I'm watching these scenes, and I'm saying, do you have any idea the damage that water is going to do? It's going to be like Detroit, you know? I mean, they're going to have to tear everything down. That's it. Everything's going to have to go away because the mold is going to set in. They're not going to save everything when your house is 10 feet underwater. Everything is ruined. They have to gut every single house, and if the water is going to last at any moment, underwater, is the wood framing or anything for any length of time, it's destroyed. it's going to be destroyed. And then the mold sits in, and the fungi, and the bacteria, it's gone. They're just going to bulldoze these houses. So I was thinking, I wonder how many contractors it's going to take to rebuild this city. We're talking, they're saying about $1 trillion. I think they're shorting themselves. I think this thing is going to be $2 or $3 trillion by the time they get done with it. I mean, Katrina, the folks in Katrina that were hit are just in the last 4 or 5 years, 3 or 4 years, are getting over Katrina problems. This is the flooding this is a different kind of disaster because this water is just sitting there. You know, Houston was a big swamp originally, basically. That's all reclaimed land, more or less, from the Gulf. It was all like the Florida Keys, South Florida. It was all very humid down there. It was all marshy kind of. There were tons of fresh water down there at one time, way back when, you know, we Americans weren't Americans and we weren't here, when it was just the land. So they're going to have so many water-related damage issues. The park benches, the headstones at cemeteries, the light posts, the asphalt streets are going to be all potholed. The housing, the vegetation is going to die because of the water. The grass, I mean, the sprinklers, the doorknobs, the ovens, the transformers, everything that you can possibly imagine. So, you know, they need help. They could probably have 100,000 contractors down there, and they would need 100,000 more. That's really something. So I'm going to figure out a way that I can engage all the history and all the information I have been and experienced in the real estate business as a broker here in Southern California for almost 40 years and a loan specialist for 25 years or so plus. And I built homes, developed homes from the ground up, a number of them over the years. So I'm going to figure out a way that I can go down there and help some of those folks out somehow in some way with my connections, and also maybe look at a way to set up a business. But let me tell you guys, that leads me to what I wanted to talk about. One of the things is I was cruising around looking today at what's happening, and I'm really not. It's really sad. There's this Exxon gas station that I caught a picture of down there. They're charging $8.76 a gallon of gas. There's another one that has boosted their gallon of gas like $25 a gallon. You know the dollar water bottles that you get all the time? $20 each for a bottle of water. Almost $50 for a 24-pack of regular 99-cent water. You have so many people gouging people. It's unbelievable down there. And there's picture after picture after picture on the internet. Even this Joel Osteen guy, he's opened up his mega church there now in Houston. But, you know, saying that, oh, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that because we had flooding down below. And this area has always been notorious for flooding. And, you know, when the Rockets played here, we couldn't do this. And it's always been known for that. And so we had to be cautious. And we don't have cots, and we don't have showers, and we don't have enough bathrooms. And we were just waiting for the city to give us the okay to help us out with cots and bathrooms. And we don't have enough food. And you know, we wanted to make sure that nobody would drown and all of that. Yeah, he is making now, as far as I'm concerned, he is making excuses on a biblical level. The last one I saw before I went on the air was he's firing back now at all his critics, and he's saying it's a biblical flood that shut down my church. What? A biblical flood shut down your church? What are you talking about? I mean, now he's opened it up. The only reason why he opened it up because of the poor public relations he was getting. I posted a lot of that stuff up on my Straight on the Point Facebook page. might want to check out this character, Joel Osteen. I mean, he makes $40 to $50 million a year. Why isn't he out there buying water? Why isn't he doing a good thing like Anheuser-Busch is doing? You want to know what the beer company is doing? And I want to make sure I get it right because I'm proud of them. They're doing the right thing. This beer company is unbelievable. Anheuser-Busch stopped beer production. They completely stopped beer production in all their facilities in America to make and donate over 500,000 cans of drinking water for people affected by Hurricane Harvey. That's capitalism done the right way, giving back. And these cans are like soda cans or beer cans, but they've got water in them. And that's what they're doing, Joel Osteen. And what about all the Texans that are coming to the rescue? The pickup trucks pulling their boats, their bass fishing boats and river fishing flat bottom boats. There's caravans of these regular folks going in there, and the regular folks taking care of their neighborhoods, and rebuilding these levees because they can. They're right there. Man, the Texans are doing the right thing, but not Joel Osteen. And it really bothers me, guys like this. He's receiving people now, but it was just because of the poor publicity that happened. And these gougers, what would you do if your family needed some water and food and gasoline, and you saw that this little gas station convenience store was open and he's gouging you? What would you do? What would you do? I'll tell you what I would do. He'd have a hard time with me. I hope he has a bigger gun than I got, because I'll tell you what, you don't do that to me. I'd somehow bust him down, and somehow if I could get the police or sheriffs or whatever they call their guys out there, deputies, to arrest this guy, because that's beyond criminal. That's like Hitler, man. I mean, that's like Genghis Khan or Stalin or Mao or this is awful that what these people are doing to their fellow citizens. There's a group out there. I saw a picture out about Hurricane Harvey, and they say looters will be shot on sight. Yeah, got no problem with that. There's not enough police to help. Now, I've been complaining about that. If we have a 9-point earthquake, we're on our own here in Southern California. So I hope you guys are prepped and ready to go. Hope you have some food and some, bullets and Band-Aids and a way to take and protect your family. Because there's lots of looting going on that they're not talking about. So look at this hurricane is unbelievable, and what it's causing people and the hardship that's taking place. So anything that we can do and that you can do on your own as a citizen of America, we are the most generous nation of people living on the planet Earth. And now it's time to give up for our fellow neighbor. Whatever you're doing, try to do a little something. Donate some money. Maybe go to the different causes that are supporting this right now, that are boots on the ground there. You can get all that information on the internet. And really take care of these people, because there's these scumbags out there that are trying to hurt them. It's terrible, just terrible. Shame, 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 shame. So President Trump arrived there today, and he's doing a great job. He's there assessing the situation, and all the federal aid is coming. It's an open book. They're dumping so much effort and money. There was, last I heard, something about 10,000 different federal workers that have come into there with all the agencies to help out, and they've already taken on, FEMA has already taken reports from hundreds of thousands of people needing the help, so they're getting that going. So it's terrific that we Americans and our country is working together. And that's the way our country should be. And this is sometimes something that can really solidify a president, something in terms of that. He didn't go to the city of Houston, and the reason why is because it's still underwater, and the agencies that he went to were in the city just south of Houston. They were going to get into Houston a little bit later on. And it makes good sense that he didn't go to Houston right now because the folks need to be focusing on Houston, not in terms of the president arriving there. So just got a little bump there from Lee back at the studio, but that's why. And it's simple. I mean, you can always look for something bad and try to find something bad and something that's good. That's what a lot of people do in these situations. I think the president's doing a good job. Certainly unlike what Bush did. Brownie, thank you, Brownie. No, Bush and the government wasn't ready for this. And when they did react, it was too late, too little, and too incomplete and too unorganized. It's like the friggin' Three Stooges. But it's all gotten together here now, and they're doing the right job. And it's really important that they continue to do that. We have to help out. The thing that really moves you is the effort that the citizens are making from street to street, neighbor to neighbor. We didn't see that in Katrina, but we see that in Texas really heavily. Yeah, just doing some tremendous work there. So that leads me to something else that I wanted to talk about in terms of our president. I'm not going to get too much involved today in the heavy political agenda, but of course North Korea popped off another missile over Japan, and it's a tough situation there that our country is in, and our legislators and our president is facing, because this is a problem that's been created way back at the end of the Korean War by not really keeping North Korea in check. And the reason why is because China always controlled North Korea, and that still is the reason today that we're not doing a whole bunch. We're trying to position China to do more. But there is going to come a time where this little boy is going to exercise his temper tantrum just a little too far. I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, I hope we wipe him off and obliterate him off the planet Earth. That's my opinion on it, if it does happen. So there's really not much that you can do until you do something about it, because he's not living up to any aspect of civility, world civility at all. China is trying to, kind of play both sides here. And they're really not doing what they should be doing as well. They've done a little bit more, but that's why this guy exists in North Korea, because of China. It's no other reason. So I don't want to direct too much about that, but I do want to talk about this Sheriff Arpaio being pardoned. I don't see what the problem is. Do you have any idea the last president and how many people he pardoned that were stone cold criminals and stone cold, really despicable people? It is thousands that he pardoned. And nobody said anything to him about anything. There wasn't a great uproar. There was just a little bit of an uproar, but not that much, really. But yet, President Trump lets a guy who's got a misdemeanor charge on him. It was a misdemeanor charge that he was found guilty on. Okay? 50 years of service as a policeman to his community, and that he kept being voted back in and back in and back in, because down there they have to vote you in. So he kept voting back in and back in and back in, and yet he's a big bad guy. Well, let's kind of check out what Obama did in his pardons. He had 1,715 acts of clemency, including 504 life sentences. Yeah, let me say that again, if that doesn't register, folks. President Obama let 504 criminals that had life sentences for the heinous crimes that they conducted to get them a life sentence. he pardoned them. 212 pardons, and released terrorists back to the battlefield. Remember Guantanamo? All those cats that were being held there that took arms and killed Americans, he let them all go. And almost all of them went back into the field of combat to kill more Americans. But nobody said anything about that, and nobody says anything about that at all. So President Trump pardons an 85-year-old sheriff with over 50 years of public service for upholding his constitutional oath of office, and President Trump gets hated for it. It's a misdemeanor. It was plead down to a misdemeanor. So where do people get off pointing the finger when they should be pointing the finger back at Obama? Even if we look at Bush's and Clinton, they pardoned so many people, so many criminals. It's unbelievable. Just go back. It's all public record. It's unbelievable. See, this is what drives me insane. It's the hypocrisy of it all. It's people only rise to the occasion when it satisfies their personal needs for their personal outcome. Why don't we just go back a little bit? And if we're going to get somebody for doing something, then let's get mad at somebody in the past for doing the same thing. What are we not getting mad for then? We should be. I mean, hey, isn't it and shouldn't it be the same for everybody? I would think so. It makes perfectly good sense to me that it should be the same for everybody. But no, you see, there is a criteria for Obama and Bush and Clinton, and a different criteria for Trump. And here's why the Republican Party and the Democratic Party have turned against, and the media have turned against our president, who's done so many things right. And today is just another example of how our government is functioning perfectly. And isn't it funny that, yeah, people complain, well, he has even hired, he's short thousands of people in his cabinet and assistants and managers. How can he function? Isn't it funny? Our country is functioning just right on smaller government. Wow. What a concept and a mind blower that is. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So, you know, if you got to put it together, you got to look at history and put it together. Otherwise, you're shortchanging and you're acting like a hypocrite. Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for the gander is good for the goose. Neither one is any different. So if you're going to treat a situation a certain way, then treat it the same way you did in the past. Don't treat it a way in which, just satisfies your current condition. Famous dictators of the world. These were left-wing dictators. Let's count them out. Mao, communist. Hitler, socialist. Stalin, communist. Lenin, communist. Khrushchev, communist. Gorbachev, communist. Mussolini, socialist. Kim Il-sung, communist. Kim Jong-il, communist. Kim Jong-un, communist. Pol Pot, communist. Ho Chi Minh, communist. Hafez al-Assad, communist. Bashir al-Assad, socialist. Saddam Hussein, socialist. Gaddafi, socialist. Chavez, socialist. Maduro, socialist. Castro, socialist. Right-wing famous dictator. Franco, eventually turned a capitalist. He was a socialist. Pinochet from Chile, a capitalist. So let's weigh it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 left-wing dictators of the planet. 1, 2, and 2 right-wing dictators of the planet. I don't know what that means to you, but what it means to me is most of the scumbags of the world are left-wing nincompoops. That's what it means to me. It's just right there. Look, if you're going to do something, then do it right. If you're going to understand something, then understand it right. Don't understand it some fake media way. Well, let's look at this. We talk about the inappropriateness of President Donald Trump. 45th president? Yeah. The inappropriateness of President Donald Trump. Okay. Well, if we're going to talk about the inappropriateness of President Donald Trump, which is not that much, I'll give it to you. Hey, he's been inappropriate in his life. Okay, fine. But then let's talk about the Democrats' inappropriateness. You ready? Ted Kennedy. Alcoholic. He left a woman to die in a river. Chappaquiddick. Mary Jo Kopechnik. Remember? Bill Clinton. He liked to have weird sex in the Oval Office with barely legal interns. Obama ran guns to Mexico, fast and furious, drug lords, and gave billions to terrorist states like Iran. Biden makes creepy and sexist comments. He publicly fondles women. Hillary Clinton endangered Americans, gave 20% of our uranium in a Russian deal for home profit of the Clinton Foundation, released classified intelligence, wiped her illegal server and destroyed mobile devices, left 4 American heroes to die and lied about it being caused by some stupid BS video, sold nuclear material to our enemies, and took money from terrorist-producing countries, that is, and into the Clinton Foundation. I mean, let's talk some more. As my Facebook feed seizes up mysteriously at 5:54, John Edwards was indicted for using campaign funds to hide his mistresses. Rod Blackenvidge is in prison for trying to sell Obama's Senate seat. Anthony Weiner, well, need I say more to that sexual pervert? Democratic Party, please don't lecture us on what is your own worst thoughts beneath your political office and agenda. You guys got a lot of experience in that area, that's for sure. So let's see if we're back up. I don't know if we're back up. I'm getting froze out on the camera here in front of me. So let me see if we are there or not. If we're not, let me know, Lee, because I'm going to bring this up. I know we only got 5 minutes left, and I don't know if it's going out. So I'm going to jump it back on my Facebook page here for those of you who are watching Facebook at facebook.com. I'm going to bring this up real quick here so we can get to the end of the Jesse T show. Though it's only a few minutes away. It looks like I got disconnected for some reason. And there we go. We're back up here at facebook.com. So going over that, what I was saying is if we're going to look at the sickness of our politicians and the hypocrites, let's look at all the people before. And I'll just go over the last portion. John Edwards, indicted for using campaign funds to hide his mistresses. Rod Blackenvidge is in prison for trying to sell Obama's Senate seat. Anthony Weiner, the pedophile, need I say more? And his wife, a Brotherhood Muslim person? Really? Yeah, so the Democratic Party, don't be pointing the finger unless you're going to point it at yourself. That's the important thing as we bump in here on Facebook this way, and I think we lost the feed the other way. All right, so I just wanted to cover those few things here on the Jesse T show today and kind of get you straight, because this is the world according to Torrero. Saying hi to Cy Richardson, who's watching us. Thanks a lot, Cy, for checking in. I appreciate that. Let me see here. But Power Voices, I didn't see that. I don't know. I guess we need to shut it down here and bring it back up. So if he can get it in there at the last second. If you can check it out, let me know. If you have us on now, let me know. Give me a little text bump. Anyhow, let's watching. Thanks a lot, Linda Kay. Appreciate checking in. Yes, David Shark Freilich is going to be back with us. And Michael Angelo. And yours truly, Jesse Torrero, tomorrow on Roundup Wound Up. And we're trying to grab up a special guest to kind of fill it up for us. If we don't, we're going to hash out the issues of the day and say it like it is. Maybe not say it like the way you want to hear it or say it like the way you want to see it, but we're going to lay it down. We're going to put the wood underground. That's what we're going to do and hit some home runs right here as the football season is starting, isn't it? I don't watch football, and I'm never going to watch football again because I don't like any of the NFL players and what they're doing. And it's in regards to our anthem. I think the NFL is a disgrace, in my opinion, a disgrace to those who have died and shed their blood. So we are back up here. Okay, so we got it going in a couple of ways. Pete and Tico is checking on Thursday. Linda K. Carter May, Cy Richardson, Darcy Donovan, and so many others. We appreciate you checking in with us here on the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6, right here on there and everywhere, from the community to the world. It's Jesse Torrero. Hey, we're out of here. You have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you on Roundup Wound Up tomorrow, talking the issues of the day, right here on the Jesse T Show. The Brown Bee is off duty. Boom! Check it out on Facebook right now and YouTube Live, Jesse Torrero. It is archived. Now and forever. See ya! Woo!